Travis Scott slapped the shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, he did.
It's been a hot topic of conversation throughout all of wrestling media for the last couple weeks with the John Cena heel turn and Travis's involvement. And a lot of people are for it. A lot of people are against it.
A lot of people are mad at Travis.
But we can't honestly say that that's the worst transgression any celebrity's ever done in the WWE.
Yeah.
In fact, there's been a lot of ups and downs when it comes to celebrities in the WWE, especially from a company that almost like whores themselves out for celebrity involvement, which I get as like a form of media. WWE is weird and weirdos watch it. That's us. We're the weirdos. And you almost need celebrities to come and give it like a rub of approval as like a way of legitimizing it and making it seem like not just you and guys in their mom's basement are watching it.
The endorsement goes a long, long way. It really does.
And they like partner with so many like ads now and like so many what's the word I'm looking for?
TurboTax.
Investors and shit. So like they definitely need people who can be like faces of brands to like endorse, but all that to say, it's March, which means March Madness. It's bracket season. We've got a bracket for you of WWE celebrity appearances. So starting things off, we got none other than the GOAT, in my opinion, Bad Bunny versus LeVar Ball and the Ball family.
Oh, man.
When it comes to celebrities that have like wrestled matches, Bad Bunny has maybe like one of the most memorable like all around performances, from like in ring to the insane entrance in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
He took to this like very like well. I know they give that credit to Logan Paul a lot, but Bad Bunny was equally as impressive.
Bad Bunny's a natural.
He's a natural, and I'm looking forward to the next time we get to see him again.
Yeah,
but
me too.
I gotta say, the appearance by LeVar and LaMelo and all them, like back in the day, that was quality TV. It was on an episode of Ms. TV, and you can tell that they were just out there just winging it, doing whatever. LeVar took his shirt off and started like doing some kung fu moves. LaMelo, who was still like maybe 16 at the time, said, "Beat that nigga ass" on live TV. That's what wrestling is all about, that kind of like interaction. But it's Bad Bunny.
Yeah, it's Bad Bunny
Bad
for me
Bunny.
as well.
All right, next we have Jelly Roll versus Lil Yachty. Now, Lil Yachty, he's been at a couple of events recently, especially since the Netflix debut, and he's someone who's like also like a legit fan who you can see appearing at more stuff. But Jelly Roll hit like a choke slam on Austin Theory that was like
It was
fire.
awesome. Yeah. It was really cool.
It's got to be Jelly Roll. Sorry, Yachty. Maybe your time will come. Hopefully, as more like I know Yachty's going to be at WrestleMania. I know he'll probably be at more events in the lead up. Yeah, I'm hoping
It's just so much fun. Like when celebrities participate, like seeing Jelly Roll hit the choke slam was so fun. Like
so fire.
yeah,
So fire.
It's Jelly Roll for sure.
Okay, next we have SNL Weekend Update hosts Michael Shea and Colin Jost together versus Steve-O of Jackass.
Oh man.
For me, it's got to be Che and Jost. Like they had like a several week long feud with Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
They healed
How
it up
crazy.
really well. Like Colin Jost is like almost a natural heel, and just like
They did like a video promo from 30 Rock. Like you can see SNL in the background. So funny.
my parents paid good money for me to be on the girls rowing team. Like he was just like so into it, and like the delivery was just dead on. Steve-O, like I think that he's been cool, but like to say like Johnny Knoxville got such like a huge role in WrestleMania and like it was built around him, like any other Jackass guy that made an appearance, it felt like less. So
Yeah, I could see that.
yeah. All right, it's Che and Joe's for me.
Me too.
All right, next is a good one. We got Motionless in White versus West Side Gun.
Ooh. Okay, seeing Rhea do her entrance with Motionless in White was so cool.
That was so fun.
I
Hopefully
feel
they're
like-
at this year's WrestleMania too.
Yeah, if you're like an elder emo, I feel like that was just like a big moment. For
Also, they
us.
were twinning it up. Like they looked
Yeah.
like there's two
She
Rhea
was in the band,
Ripleys.
yeah.
They were just two Rhea Ripleys, like terror. Those are the real terror twins. West Side Gun, though. All right, I gotta say this. West Side Gun, you will just see in like the crowd at any WWE pay-per-view throughout the year, all the while, like they have never like shown him on the screen and been like, oh, rapper West Side Gun. And since then, he's also had an on-screen role with Swerve in AEW.
Yeah.
And he's got his own promotion, Fourth Rope, where like he's booked Zilla to win the title and everything. So
Yeah.
like he's very involved, very invested.
Loves
he's the
wrestling.
one that has like 20 fucking songs that are just like wrestler names,
Yeah.
like Roddy Piper is a song. Macho, he's got Adam Cole is a song, like shit like that. And WWE should really have like leaned in more and embraced him more. And even with like his involvement in AEW, with his involvement with his own promotion, he still shows up and is
Yeah,
still in the
he's a
crowd.
fan. Like-
he's a legitimate fan who like would be there whether like there was the wrestling boom or not. We saw him when shit was in the gutter.
Yeah.
So I gotta give West Side Gun my vote, but Motionless in White, like, love seeing them, and I hope that they're at every WrestleMania moving forward.
For sure. Definitely. I agree.
All right, next we got Drew Carey versus Maria Menounos. Drew Carey actually participated in, I want to say, like the 2000 or the 2001 Royal Rumble.
That's crazy.
Had
This
a
was
feud with Kane.
long before I was a fan, so I didn't get to see it.
He's actually a WWE Hall of Famer in the celebrity wing.
Drew Carey.
Yeah, Kane inducted him. And Maria Menounos, she's famous for like being on E! Television as
Yeah.
like one of their hosts. I want to say that she fought in a match at like WrestleMania 24, 25, like a mixed tag team match with like one of the divas against like someone. I'm gonna be real though. For me, not only are these two like just kind of dud appearances, but they're also like dud celebrities to me. I don't really have a personal investment in either of them.
Yeah.
But if I had to move one forward, I think Maria Menounos is a lot better looking than Drew Carey. Like, no
You know
offense
what?
to Drew.
You know what? That's fair.
Like, Drew's appearance is probably more impactful, and he's the Hall of Famer here, but this is our bracket, so.
And I love Whose Line Is It Anyway? But anyway.
Next, we have Ronda Rousey versus Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson. Now, with Ronda, like we'll see Logan later. For the people who became full-time like WWE competitors, I feel like it's a different standard to judge them on because like at a certain point, you're an active roster like member. You travel, you tour, you've held championships. You
Yeah.
can't be like judged the same way as we judge a one-off.
The
celebrity.
novelty wears off after a certain point, like a certain number of appearances. So it's
Hot take. I feel like there needs to be a full-blown distinction between celebrity wrestler and full-time wrestler. And like, I know that we've discussed it a billion times on the channel, and we'll discuss it more when we get to Logan Paul. We don't like Logan Paul.
yeah.
And we don't like how he hasn't paid his dues compared to like a lot of other people in the industry.
Do some mid-card matches, Logan. I want to see you fight somebody who is not fucking Roman Reigns or John Cena.
Yeah,
Like,
his version of mid-card is beating Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio in front of a Saudi Arabia crowd for the U.S. title that he got to hold for like 8 months without ever showing up and defending it. Like, that is not doing your time in the mid-card.
I want to see Logan Paul have a long-time feud with who? Who do I want to see him have a feud with? I don't even
Santos
know.
Escobar. The two of y'all go to NXT, duke it out, and get the fuck off of my screen. Nevertheless, Ronda Rousey, my problem with her, like, I know a lot of people have the issue with, like, she was one of those people who, like, it came to really naturally, and she picked it up really fast, and they pushed her to the moon immediately because her character, she's the most legit MMA women's fighter of all time. So, of course, she can beat all of these girls. But, like, this is wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
we have the suspension of disbelief. We have characters. We have storytelling. The fact that you can beat up everyone for real doesn't mean that, like, you should just be the best and booked the way that she was.
Yeah.
And, like, she was able to take her brand and, like, abuse that in the way that someone like Shayna Baszler, who comes from the same background, her best friend, who actually went and put in some time on the indies before making it to WWE, and like for all intents and purposes is the one that brought Ronda Rousey into wrestling and like interest her in that in the first place. Like Ronda showed up, had a marquee. Her debut match was teaming with Kurt Angle versus Triple H and Stephanie at WrestleMania, and the next year, at the very next WrestleMania, she was in the main event with Becky and
Yeah, that's
Charlotte
crazy.
in the first women's
That's
main
crazy.
event. That's fucking ridiculous. And she's up against Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson, two Philadelphia Eagles legends, offensive linemen who showed up to help Rey Mysterio beat up Dom last year for some reason.
Love that.
It was very much some Philly pandering fan service to have like two of their guys there. I think Ronda's been a lot more impactful. Like we said, she's
Yeah.
part of the first ever women's main event.
Right.
But at the same time, don't expect to see her go very far because Ronda Rousey in wrestling, I think, is overall just like.
Yeah, we got to give credit where credit is due, but also not a huge fan of Ronda as a wrestler.
Like without her and her star power and her like personal brand, women don't become the main event. And we needed her to get there, but now that we're
Yes.
there and we've pushed past that and broken through that ceiling, there's women like Io Sky and Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair, and even in other companies, the Mercedes Monets, Toni Storms, Mariah Mays, that have like earned the right and privilege to be main eventers and in the main event of pay-per-views without having to just like shoehorn someone in there because they're famous from other shit.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, keeping it going. Next, we have Patrick Mahomes and Travis Scott. Pat Mahomes was just in the crowd at one event in Kansas City just because, or maybe it was Dallas, one of the places where he frequents.
Yeah.
He was just there, and he was in the crowd, and they showed him because you have to show him because he's Patrick Mahomes.
Of course.
Travis Scott was part, excuse me, let me look into the camera. Travis Scott was part of the biggest angle in WWE history. A landmark moment that will be talked about eons from now by my kids, by my grandkids, by my great-grandkids. Where were you when Cena turned heel? I was right there watching Travis Scott slap the absolute dog shit out of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah. Busted his eardrum. Travis Scott's on a t-shirt now. Like,
Yeah.
They put that moment on
The
a
Wrestling is
t-shirt.
Real t-shirt is hard. We
so
we
cool.
will buy it.
Yeah,
we
I'm
will
getting
fucking
one.
spend taxpayer dollars on that. Pat,
It's awesome.
You're cool. You've won enough shit. You don't need to win this bracket. Travis, you're moving on. Next we have Kim Kardashian, who was a guest ringer announcer for a match, I guess, at WrestleMania 24, and Regis Philbin, who I think was also
Regis-
like a guest ring announcer for something.
Regis versus Kim K. Wow, that is a tough.
So here's the thing. Both of these don't fucking matter to me in the context of wrestling. Regis, I have so much nostalgia and childhood, like
Regis and
live
Kelly.
with Regis and Kelly, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Kim, like she's been more part of like the dominance of pop culture during like the years where I've been alive and able to experience it in real time. Like
Yeah.
we've seen the whole Kim run. Like this is
Yeah, from start to finish.
WrestleMania
really.
24 is 2008. That's like kind of still towards the beginning of like the Kardashians like run of dominance.
Yeah.
And it's one of like those first like landmark, hey, we're putting them on everything. They have to be like on the face of everything. This is pre Kimye too, like before
Yeah.
she was like fashion icon back when she was still
friends with Paris.
She
Yeah.
was in that Paris Hilton. I was about to say like that level of celebrity.
Yeah.
Like just tabloid fodder. I gotta go with Kim. I gotta be real
Me
with you.
too.
I gotta go with Kim.
Me too, honestly.
Like that
Well, like,
brand
what a
of
moment.
like Kim and like Maria Menounos, Snooki, like that brand of celebrity is key to like the Divas era, the
Oh, yeah.
reality era, and like people talk about that era. Oh, it's after Ruthless Aggression, it's Super Cena, it's pre-Shield, all that's dog shit. Say what you want. We were watching, and like that was the like we don't get to the Travis Scotts and Vanessa Hudgenses of today without having the Kim and Snooki and
Yeah.
all their eras too.
Those
So-
like reality star guest appearances, yeah, definitely paved the way.
All right, next we have Snoop Dogg versus, excuse me, WWE Hall of Famer Snoop Dogg versus Kevin Hart.
He's a Hall of Famer. That's awesome.
Kevin Hart's cool. His like appearances in WWE, he's had like a couple for sure.
Yeah.
And when he does, like they're funny and like they land, but like Snoop is like a WWE legend actually for some reason. Like he's hosted several WrestleManias.
Yeah.
He like appears at every WrestleMania. Like the Snoop Dogg yearly WrestleMania appearance is like the Undertaker yearly appearance. Like he's going
He's a
to be
fan.
in an impromptu match. He's going to guest announce. He's going to have like a replica belt. Like somebody's getting high with him. Like Randy Orton's gotten
yeah.
high with Snoop Dogg several times.
Love Snoop.
He used to perform Sasha Banks's like entrance
Oh,
music.
yeah.
They're cousins.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Sorry, Kev. Snoop's moving on.
Yeah.
He's clear.
Snoop is one of those like celebrities who can just appear anywhere, like the Olympics, The Voice, WWE, and like
It only makes sense for him to be there.
And,
Like
yeah.
I'd be more worried if he wasn't there. Like if we had
Where
WrestleMania
is he?
this year
Yeah.
and Snoop Dogg wasn't there, I'd be like, is he okay? Like, is someone, we need to do a wellness check. Like where the
do we
fuck
have
is
eyes
he?
on Snoop? Yeah.
All right, next we have Floyd Mayweather versus Pee Wee Herman.
Ooh, okay.
Floyd Mayweather had a match with Big Show at WrestleMania 24 that actually counts towards his professional record. Like his undefeated record, his match versus the Big Show, like counts in there.
That's so
He
funny.
knocked the Big Show out and
Really?
broke his
In
nose.
real life?
Like, no, like kayfabe, I'm
Like,
pretty
broke his
sure.
nose?
But like he broke his nose in real life. Big Show like was in WWE, but Vince like fired him or sent him to like developmental because he was too fat. And he was like, you need to lose some weight. So he came back, and that's like when he came back like bald. And he like was a face, and everyone's like, oh hey, Big Show's back. And he like saw Rey Mysterio, started beating the shit out of him just because like Ray's small, he's bully. That's how he gets some heel heat. And Floyd was in the crowd. Floyd and Ray, their buddies, are like the same size guy. So Floyd jumps over the barricade and starts beating the shit out of Big Show with like his whole like Money Mayweather like entourage, just like 20 niggas in the ring beating the shit out of Big Show, and like. It was the setup to their match, which was treated as like one of the three like main events. Like they're on the poster.
Yeah. Wow.
Pee Wee just had a creepy guest host appearance. Like it was nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
Floyd
I'm
easy.
going with Mayweather. Yeah. That's so funny.
All
What a
right.
matchup, though.
Next, we have what has been two of the key faces of the Raw on Netflix era:
What?
commentator Pat McAfee
Pat.
and Gabriel Fluffy Iglesias,
Wow.
who's appeared
key
on
player.
like maybe 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
Plugged his Netflix
I've seen Fluffy
specials.
so much. Like
He's
since,
got the Netflix WWE button-up shirt with his little foot,
With his own little,
beret that he's
Yeah.
wearing. Pat McAfee is like kind of, how do I want to address this? Pat McAfee is kind of like the middle point between Logan Paul and like Bad Bunny. Like with Bad Bunny, I want to see him appear in WWE more. With Logan Paul, I never want to see him on my screen again. Pat McAfee, I don't mind because he brings out like a better Michael Cole. But at the
Yeah.
same time,
I like Pat McAfee.
I feel like there's like a number of things that like Pat McAfee doesn't know when to shut the fuck up and just let a
Okay.
moment be a moment. There will be a moment where like there needs to be tension between the two characters, and Pat just like slips in a one-liner, and you're just
Yeah.
like, shut the fuck up, dude. But even like when he's had his matches, like he fought Adam Cole. He's a former professional athlete. We shouldn't be shocked
Yeah.
that he's like able to pick this up and run with it. And Fluffy adds nothing. He just plugs his shit and then he's gone.
Yeah, he kind of does just like point to the Netflix like logo, and then they pan away from him.
But maybe I feel like he really does enjoy the product. So like
No, I know he's like
I'm
a
glad
fan.
he's
He
a fan.
genuinely loves it.
also with McAfee and like his ESPN show, it gives like WWE like a direct line into mainstream sports as
Yeah,
well.
that is true.
So like they get to take that sports market, like everyone that follows his like show, his podcast, like that market is like zoomed up in there. when he gets to like go and host College Game Day, now we're seeing more and more wrestlers be guests on College Game
Yeah.
Day. Like Sheamus was at like 5 different college football games this year. I'm like, aren't you from Ireland?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, dude. Like, I think Pat's got to take it.
Yeah. I agree.
All right, next we got Muhammad Ali versus Dennis Rodman. Muhammad Ali was a guest ref at like WrestleMania 1, and he's the reason The Rock carries around that stupid ass fake belt. Dennis Rodman, literally during the Bulls' like last three-peat when they were winning championships, would just like dip and like leave the team to go do Rodman shit. And among the Rodman things he was doing was going on WCW and being a member of the NWO.
That's so funny.
So
That
he
is so funny.
like had like a real life feud with like Karl Malone, and they were like getting fights on the court. So like they had a tag team match where like Rodman was with Hulk Hogan and Karl Malone was with DDP, and they like fought each other for real. All respect to Muhammad Ali. Dennis Rodman's got to get it for me
Yeah,
though.
it's Dennis Rodman. That's
Like,
so funny.
Imagine like Michael Jordan and Scotty and everybody's like working hard at practice trying to defend and like make sure you get that second three-peat. And where's Dennis? Oh, he's tagging with Hulk Hogan on
He's busy.
on Monday Nitro.
He's joining the NWO.
All right, next we got Speed versus Lil Baby. Lil Baby kind of just like fluffy, like he's in the crowd, he's a fan. His sons are always there, and you see them with like the replica belts and like
Yeah.
the city belts, and
They love it.
he looks like someone like a dad who's actually bringing their kid to like enjoy a night of recreation out with like someone that they really want to see, and
It's
I love
sweet.
seeing
It's
that.
wholesome. Yeah.
Speed got speared by Braun Breaker,
To
RKO'd by Randy Orton. Every time he shows up, like Speed, I love you, man. Stop showing up to
Stop
WWE.
showing up.
Triple H has no problem throwing you out there for his own personal amusement.
John
and
Cena's gonna
watching
do
people
something to
beat
you.
The absolute like Speed almost died. Did you see the gash in his leg after Braun Breaker speared him?
He had that neck brace on. He had crutches, everything.
Speed's moving on for me.
Yeah, it's Speed for sure.
All right, next we got Shaq versus Chuck Norris. Shaq was a participant in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale and one of the WrestleManias in
Makes
the
sense.
2010s. But then in AEW, he had like a one-on-one match with Cody. He's the one who like I think introduced Jade Cargill as an on-screen
Wow.
character.
Wow.
Like she was an associate of Shaq's that he brought to like fight Cody or some shit. I
Wow,
don't.
that's really cool.
Like we don't really watch AEW, so if that's like contextually wrong, feel free to like let us know in the comments.
Yeah, let us know, please.
But nah, without Shaq, we don't have like. I guess canon wise, we don't have Jade Cargill without
Yeah.
Shaq. Cody jumped and like put Shaq through like 2 tables through a crossbody, and this
Wow.
is like. Collision comes on TNT, so they had like the cross branding with like NBA on TNT, and there'd be like a game would end and it'll go right in, or not Collision, Dynamite, whatever the AEW show
Yeah.
is. So, it was like part of their big early segments. Like that was a big early celebrity cameo that helped like legitimize them. Chuck Norris, he was a guest host. Like during the guest host era, like if we end up getting someone who was a guest host on this bracket. There's some guest hosts that had like memorable, like they had segments and things that they did that like stood the test of time, and there's some that were just like, okay, you were here to plug your shit. That like
Yeah.
Kristen Wiig and Will Forte were there to plug MacGruber, and
Oh,
they
that's
hosted
funny.
in character, did nothing that like did shit for the movie, but it happened.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris was just like one of those guys who was there, so I think Shaq moves on.
Yeah, definitely.
Next, 2 guys who've musicians. They've each been known more as rappers, but have touched a bunch of other genres. We have Machine Gun Kelly and Drake. We saw Drake at Elimination Chamber in Toronto in the crowd. He was not shown and showcased on screen like a lot of the other celebrities, which you'd think WWE, like when you see one of the biggest celebrities in the world, would jump at the opportunity. But I'm guessing that with a lot of what's happened with him the last year or so, he probably requested like.
To like keep some privacy, maybe.
But
I
he
mean, they
also
still showed
sat
him on
right
camera.
behind commentary and like was on camera like doing all his little Drake shits. Machine Gun Kelly, on the other hand, performed and like Kevin Owens came out and interrupted him or something. He tried to stand up to KO and pushed him, and Kevin Owens responded by power bombing him off stage through a table. The commitment to take that spot as a celebrity,
Yeah.
one-off guy, I think just pushes him over.
And MGK, like anytime they're in Cleveland, there's a chance he's gonna be there. So like
He
it's
seems like an associate of Logan Paul, though.
He did walk out with Logan Paul that one
But
time.
didn't he turn on Logan? I don't remember.
I don't actually remember.
You see, like,
Guys,
that's the
let us
thing.
know.
Machine Gun Kelly, like, I'm not sitting here questioning what did Travis Scott do that time that he showed up. Like, I know
slapped
he
the
either
shit
shows up and like smokes a blunt with fucking Jey Uso, or he's slapping the shit out of Cody Rhodes. Those are
lights some
two
sage.
memorable things that he's done. Like, you showed up and yeah, you got power bombed, but what else did you do? But you're still moving on, so like, hey, keep your head up.
You're still moving on.
And the final one for this side of the bracket, we have Snooki versus Motorhead.
Oh man, it's.
Snooki
I know how I feel.
Snooki actually hit like a cartwheel back handspring, like elbow to someone in the corner that I was like,
That's awesome.
that's impressive, Snooki. But Motorhead, like, Triple H doesn't have a miss when it comes to his theme music. And Motorhead, it's time to play the game. Like, they show up and do that shit, or Evolution, or
Yeah.
any of the fucking Triple H songs. Bow down to the, like, the fact that they have 3 of them that you
Yeah.
can just name off rip, and they showed up and played. Triple H already has like the most theater kid, gargantuan, grandiose entrances with his little skull king mask
Yeah.
and like on a throne and the women walking him out and all that kind of stuff. And it only adds to the prestige. I have to go Motorhead. Shout out Snooki though.
Shout out to Snooki. Yeah.
We're hoping that Kim K continues to move on in your honor, as well as Maria
Yes.
Menounos.
Yes.
All right, so on the other side of the bracket, we got Jon Stewart versus Betty White.
Jon Stewart versus Betty White.
Jon Stewart turned heel, aligned with Seth Rollins, and cost John Cena like the U.S. title or some shit,
Man.
or the WWE title, one of them.
And Betty White.
And Betty White, she was just a guest host. But she's Betty White. Everybody loves her.
Respectable.
And the thing is, like, this is our bracket. So if we come across someone where we don't know what they did or the significance of it, but we just fuck with them, we're gonna do it. Fuck you. It doesn't matter. I'm going. Like, I was so mad. Like, I actually was legitimately upset with Jon Stewart when he turned on John Cena, and it wasn't like a. Because at the time, like, I liked Seth. He was new, he was young, and like I was ready to see new stars beat Cena. But it was like, dude, like, I hate when celebrities feel like they got to get involved and like interfere and shit.
Yeah.
Like, let Seth beat John on his own accord. I was thinking, like, of course, like, stupid, but yes. I'm going with Betty White because fuck John Cena
Hell
for
yeah.
that.
Hell yeah. R.I.P. Betty White. We love you.
R.I.P. late great. Next we got Cyndi Lauper versus Joan Jett. Now, Joan Jett, as much as I love rock and roll, girls just want to have fun. And without Cyndi Lauper, wrestling would not be like, she's the first celebrity that Vince exploited to make his like brand legit and have popularity. He took all the MTV generation and was like, hey, we're going to put like some greasy old wrestler in her video as her dad, make her show up and start like feuding with someone, team her up with Wendy Richter, and we'll like have her be like one of the faces of the first WrestleMania. And it worked. It really fucking worked. So
Yeah.
shout out Sydney. She also was a guest host of Raw, I think.
Yeah.
Like, you know, reprising
She made
her
so
role.
many appearances. Yeah.
Like, she was like the face of like 80s. Like, she used to show up as much as Travis Scott.
Yeah.
Next, we got Mike Tyson versus Raven Simone. Shout out Raven. She did a Make-A-Wish thing.
Shout out to Raven.
Mike
it was
Tyson-
like peak Cheetah Girls era at the time too.
Hell yeah. She was in her mode. Mike Tyson joined DX though. Mike Tyson is officially, like, if you look at DX, like in the history of their members, he's officially was a member of DX
That
at
is
a time.
crazy.
And after, like, he was the special enforcer for Michaels versus Stone Cold in the match where Stone Cold first won the title. So that's like a significant moment. The first time you give the biggest star ever his first belt. And after that match, he knocked out Shawn Michaels in a line with Stone Cold, sent the crowd home happy. Like, it's got to be Mike.
Yeah.
Big Mike, you got it, dog. Next, we have Jeremy Piven versus Rick Ross. Now, Rick Ross's appearance was in AEW. He aligned with Swerve. He had the accusations. False
accusations.
And what do you say to Keith Lee? You one big motherfucker, something like that. But Jeremy Piven was promoting one of his movies. He had Ken Jeong with him. He called SummerSlam Summerfest. He turned heel by the end of the night, tried to like do a diving crossbody on someone who like caught him and then hit them with their finisher. Never heard from him again, not only in WWE, but like I don't know another movie. I don't even know the name of that movie. And I say accusations all the time. So like
false accusations.
Rick Ross got it. All right, next we got Lil Wayne and Kai Cenat. Lil Wayne accompanied Jey Uso to the ring at WrestleMania last year. Kai has kind of just been in the crowd and like streamed a little bit. I feel like Triple H wants the Kai interactions, and Kai is going to provide some more. But like, I think it's still early on in like his partnership with the company. I think the best is yet to come with Kai.
Definitely. Love seeing him there though. Like, love seeing him stream from events and stuff. It's so fun.
Yeah. Shout out Weezy though.
Yeah. Every time a rapper comes out with Jey Uso, I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Like they definitely. We could have put Quavo on here. Like we could have. There's so many people that like, whenever you're in town and you have a rapper, you just send them to hang out with Jay, and that's like WWE's get out of jail free card. It makes it the interactions and like the numbers and the retweets and shit that they do.
Yeah.
You get a picture backstage with the rapper holding the belt that like immediately when you see like you go on Instagram and you see Triple H doing the point and he's got Quavo with the belt looks cool as fuck. You're like, damn, what if Quavo was the world champion? You're just like, it works. But next we have Hugh Jackman versus President Donald Trump.
Wolverine himself.
WWE Hall of Famer, President Donald Trump.
Well, there's that.
Wolverine's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
And I love Les Mis,
He's the coolest X-Man, for sure.
Who am I?
24601.
John Valjean. No, Hugh Jackman showed up. He had beef with Dolph Ziggler.
So he actually had like a match? Hugh
No,
Jackman?
he was a guest host. I'm pretty sure he was plugging something. What even was around? It could have been
some
Les Mis.
crazy moves in the ring.
Like Vicky Guerrero was out there, and like I think they were being mean to Zack Ryder or something, and he came out like, "Hey, y'all leave him alone." I don't even know what he said.
The Wolverine voice.
Wolverine's my favorite hero, and Trump's my least favorite president. Oh no,
Yeah.
I hope that doesn't get us. Hey guys, I know we just got 500 subscribers, and if getting political makes you want to unsubscribe, I apologize wholeheartedly for the inconvenience of the fact that I don't give a shit. Next we have David Arquette versus Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Terminator slapped the shit out of Triple H.
What?
But David Arquette is a former WCW world champion.
Wow. Okay.
That's like maybe the low point of their championship lineage. Like they let a celebrity for shock value coming in to promote his movie win the title.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be the most prestigious thing in your company. That's jumping the shark for sure. I can't reward that.
Yeah, that is crazy, actually.
Bro, like imagine.
I had no idea.
Imagine like someone who's got a movie coming. Timothy Chalamet's got a movie coming out, and they say, "Hey, we're thinking about putting the belt on Timmy. One night only.
Triple H?
Cody could take it off of him tomorrow night."
Reach out to Timmy.
Some heel comes and screws Cody, and we send the crowd, the Madison Square Garden crowd home happy by having Timothy Chalamet pin Gunther.
Someone in a hoodie appears from the crowd.
In front of 200,000. Timmy pins Gunther.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, I got to go with Arnold on this
Yeah.
one. You see, Triple H has gotten the shit slapped out of him before, so like he was perfectly fine sending Travis out there to slap Cody. It's a rite of passage.
Yeah, you got to get slapped, I guess.
Next, we have Vanessa Hudgens versus the Muppets collectively.
all of the Muppets. I mean, yeah, they were there as a group.
Yeah, the Muppets, they were guest hosts that one week. I think the interaction between Beaker and Sheamus alone is like a strong enough reason to
Legendary.
try and move them. But Vanessa literally just gave hot women the pass to like wrestling.
And that shirt, Hot Women Love Professional Wrestling, like, come on.
I dated a girl a couple years ago that was like, when I told her I love wrestling, she was just like, and like I was like, damn, do I ever tell that to a woman again? And like now,
Yes.
like if Vanessa Hudgens can like wrestling,
Wrestling
then,
is
like,
cool. Hot girls like professional wrestling.
Exactly.
Thank you, Vanessa Hudgens.
She's got to move on.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kermit. Sorry, Beaker.
You get
Piggy,
it, girl.
Everybody. All right, next we have Gronk versus Alex Trebek. I want to be like so transparent here. As much as I want to be objective, we watched the Tom Brady roast the other night.
Yeah.
And Gronk being so goddamn stupid has just like made him so much more lovable
Yeah,
for me
I
in
agree.
every facet. Like whenever we see
That stupid Bundle Bros.
the Bundle Bros, the Little Caesars commercial, we see the USAA commercial.
Yeah.
Like
I used
Gronk
to
being
hate them.
dumb makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Alex Trebek, RIP again, another legend. But
Yeah.
like just a guest host, like I feel like there's certain people whose impact outside of wrestling is so great that like it's hard to like measure up, and like their
Yeah.
appearances are so, hey, I'm here, but like you won't remember what I did here because
Yeah.
of everything that I've done outside of here.
Right.
Some people can transcend that, like Snoop Dogg and stuff, but like Gronk, he hosted the Pandemic Mania. He was in one of like the Andre the Giant Royales, like shoulder blocking someone because he was friends with Mojo. Shout out Gronk, he's moving on.
Shout out to Gronk.
Next we have Mr. T versus Pamela Anderson. Mr. T is a WrestleMania main eventer.
And
Like,
Pamela?
I love Pam. She walked out with Kevin Nash like that one time. Mr. T, like I think, competed at WrestleManias 1 and 2,
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
and was in the main event of like WrestleMania 1.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
All right.
he's
It's
moving.
Mr. T. Yeah.
CM Punk has never main event at WrestleMania, but Mr. T has maybe twice. I don't know.
That's crazy.
Next, Logan Paul versus Kevin Federline. Logan
K-Fed.
Paul has become a full-time competitor like Ronda. So like
Yeah.
he's a former US champ. He's been in several like high-profile matches, several WWE championship matches. Kevin Federline showed up on like one of the New Year's episodes of Raw in like '07 and just beefed with John Cena the whole night, and
Of course he did.
ended the night getting a big FU. It was like it was like peak of K-Fed, like peak bald Britney, like during that time frame. John Cena
Yeah.
had to whip his ass on TV.
Yeah.
Legendary appearance. It's one of those like one night only time you appeared, but you left a lasting impression. But I unfortunately, and this pains me, I got to move on Logan Paul.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I guess.
Logan, enjoy it. You won't get many wins on this channel.
I will say, for Logan Paul, the staying power that he has is incredible. I knew he had done a match or two. I didn't expect him to be like a constant figure in the WWE. Like,
I'm not giving him credit for that. Like, Bad Bunny actually contributes art to the world. He has other shit to do. Logan Paul is a fucking podcaster. He has absolutely nothing else to do with his time. Of course he keeps fucking showing up. Like, nobody else wants to promote Prime. Of course he keeps fucking showing up. Like, you got a place that's going to let you do whatever the fuck you want, give you preferential treatment over all of their long-time, hard-working employees, promote the shit
That
out of
is
your
true.
sugary-ass sports drink, and then just, like, constantly glaze you, give your podcast numbers. Nobody watched Impulsive until they started doing wrestler interviews. He, like, it really, Chris Van Vliet, really, hey, Chris, if you're watching, really, you should have the biggest problem with Logan Paul out of everybody. Like, Logan Paul is kind of stepping on your fucking feet, if we're being honest. Like, no disrespect, God bless. But
Shout out to Chris Van Vliet.
shout out to, hey, you're stronger than me, brother. Next, we have George Kittle versus Bob Barker. Bob Barker might have been the best of the celebrity guest hosts. He, like, had beef with Chris Jericho that whole night, made, like, 4 random people play The Price is Right, and was like, Chris Jericho was being all mean, and he was just like being like mean to him like an old man, like, hey, you're misbehaving and not being good, and everyone loves me. I'm Bob Barker. So,
Everyone loves me.
like, it worked. George Kittle is, like, in my opinion, the original NFL WWE super fan. When nobody was talking about wrestling, like 2018, 19, 20 in the dark ages, George Kittle's like at the peak of his, hey guys, who's this like exciting young tight end for the 49ers? He's in post-game interviews. Hey guys, I know I scored 4 touchdowns today, but the Royal Rumble's tonight, so I gotta go. Like,
I gotta go.
And every time we see him and Bailey are like best friends.
Yeah.
Like, the internet's constantly shipping them together. Is that Bailey's man? Like, he's married, guys. Besides, Bailey, like, she and I, if you've watched our Valentine's Day blind ranking video, you guys know that if Bailey wants, she has full unadulterated access to me. So when y'all say that stuff on the internet, it hurts my fucking feelings. But it's besides the point. George Kittle and Bob Barker is really a toss-up for me.
I'm going George.
They're both great. R.I.P. Bob. Is Bob? He has to be dead.
I think so.
He has to be. Like, he was old when I was like 2, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure.
I'm pushing 30. So,
Yeah, R.I.P. Bob.
next we have Lil Uzi Vert, who accompanied the Usos to the ring at WrestleMania 39 versus Macaulay Culkin, who in the Netflix era is just here all the time. He pops up and he knows how to work a crowd.
I love
when they're
Macaulay.
doing their guess who's here tonight. He knows how to,
Yeah.
and the crowd is like,
yes. Every time it's so good.
Lil Uzi did look adorable when he was standing there doing the ones
And
between
like
the Usos.
with the Usos, little Usovert, like.
I just want to rock. I gotta go with Macaulay.
Yeah, me too.
Plus, like, he's new to it. He's true to this, not new to this. Like, if
He's
you
a longtime fan.
he was in the crowd as a kid back in the Home Alone days.
Kevin McAllister.
They were trying to get the rub from him when he was a child. So
Yeah.
like, you know, he's there as an adult. Like, he really loves this. He grew up with this
Yeah.
shit. We grew up with him. So shout out Macaulay. Next we have another set of legendary guest hosts, Cheech and Chong versus Johnny Knoxville, who fought Sami Zayn in a really entertaining match at WrestleMania 38.
Man. Oh, you know I love Cheech and Chong, 2 legends.
Legends. Also, shout out Eddie Guerrero. Shout out The Rock. But at the same time, I think that Johnny Knoxville match, while some people view that as like the career low for Sami Zayn, it immediately, like the immediate aftermath of that match was him in the Bloodline.
Yeah.
So like, in a way, we have Johnny Knoxville to thank for Sami Zayn becoming a main eventer.
Yeah. And I love, like, the whole Sammy Uso bloodline story. I loved, like, all of it. So,
All of that was
Thank you,
born
Johnny Knoxville.
directly out of the Johnny Knoxville match. He's got to move on for
yeah,
us.
definitely.
And oh no, not our final, second to last. From this side, we got Lawrence Taylor versus Stephen Amell. Stephen Amell is an actor from the show Arrow, which Cody Rhodes guest appeared on, and because of that, he came and I think guest hosted and maybe had a match against Stardust. If I'm not mistaken, he also had a match in AEW or like on one of the All-Ins or something. And he might have been like one of the people in the crowd when Cody like finished the story. So like,
Wow.
I like that they have like a long time friendship.
Yeah, that's cool.
Lawrence Taylor is the greatest defensive player in NFL history. Every old guy I ever met when I was like playing football growing up told me I look like him. And he main evented a WrestleMania.
Hell yeah.
So
So we're going with Lawrence.
I don't know. It's a toss up.
Yeah.
I
main
like
eventing-
LT. LT's like the GOAT defensive player. he would literally get like 20 sack seasons and be like off his ass on coke every game.
Oh my God.
It might be LT. It might be. I gotta go with LT. And the final one from this side before we get into round 2, which will be quicker since we've already talked about all these. We got Mickey Rourke, who starred in the 2008 film The Wrestler.
Yeah.
Or maybe 2009. And he had like a little cameo where when Chris Jericho was fighting all those legends, he came and like helped them out because their life was like what his movie was about. It was really touching, but like kind of sad and depressing too.
Yeah.
And we have the Three Stooges who guest hosted an episode.
Hell yeah. Larry, Curly, and Moe.
And yeah, they got into
stooged.
They got into their typical stooge hijinks backstage.
Stoogery.
That's like the like era of Raw when Raw was like a show that was pitched at like 7 to like 12-year-olds.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And it made the show like really difficult to watch for like adult fans for a while, and like so many people tapped out, and that in turn like led to like what became like the indie scene and like alternative wrestling and AEW and stuff. But yeah, I can't defend it. The Three Stooges episode of Raw fucking sucked. Mickey Rourke, I've never watched The Wrestler, but like it got like a lot of praise during its time. I think he might have got like a Best Actor nomination for it.
Yeah.
And he got to beat up Chris Jericho. So all right, now into round 2. Let's see. The guys that won in round 1 are up against each other. We got Bad Bunny versus Jelly Roll.
Man, this is just going to keep getting tougher and tougher. It's Bad Bunny for me.
Benito. All right, we have Michael Shea and Colin Jost versus West Side Gun.
The Weekend Update guys it's like 2 guys versus just one West Side Gun. I do love West Side Gun.
It is 2 guys versus 1, but he's appeared so many times.
I know.
And he's like
and he
real,
loves
he's
wrestling.
for real about this wrestling shit.
It might have to be West Side
West
Gun.
Side Gun
Yeah.
for me.
Sorry, Weekend Update fellas.
It's fine. You'll always have Saturday Night Live. Maria Menounos versus Ronda Rousey.
I'm going Maria.
You know,
Sorry,
that's
Ronda.
fine with me. I was like, damn, Ronda's getting 2 rounds in this. Travis Scott versus Kim K. Keep it in the family.
I'm going with Travis Scott.
Shout out, Trav. All right,
We wouldn't have this like John Cena, Cody with a busted eardrum moment if it wasn't for Travis. So
We would not. We
yeah.
got Motorhead versus MGK.
I'm leaning MGK.
Motorhead never got power bombed off of shit for sure.
And I feel like if we don't have any more big like Triple H matches, like when are we gonna see Motorhead again? Like,
Their lead singer died. Like we're
R.I.P.
already-
So
there's
sorry,
no more.
Motorhead. But
There's
yeah,
no
like next
more.
time they're in Cleveland, like I'm sure MGK will be there.
Yeah, for sure. Like we don't respect the past around here. If you're if your time on this planet is done, like all we care about is what you've done for me lately and what you can do moving forward. With that being said, I'm taking Speed over Shaq.
Yeah, yeah.
Fuck you, Shaq.
Where
We're
have you
done with the
been?
90s. Pat McAfee versus Dennis Rodman.
Kind of leaning Pat.
I mean, it would be the equivalent of our choices from the last 2. We're going to see more of Pat.
Yeah,
And we're going to see more of Snoop, so I'm going to take him over Floyd as well.
yeah, yeah, definitely.
All right. Over here, Betty White. We're not seeing any more Betty White. Betty White versus Cyndi Lauper. Cindy's meant
I'm
more
going to
wrestling.
Cindy. Yeah.
Mike Tyson versus
Betty White.
Rick Ross.
Ooh.
We will not be seeing Rick Ross in WWE. He did the AEW shit.
Will we be seeing Mike Tyson though?
I don't know. He's one of those Paul brothers.
Let's go Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I feel like we're going to see Mike again probably. Lil Wayne versus Jack Human.
Jack Human. I'm going with Lil Wayne.
I was gonna lean towards Hugh Jackman. I feel like
Really?
Lil Wayne, like he did a milli, then he just like ran out while Jay did his entrance. Like, yeah, you just like kept saying. I don't know. I love Wayne, but I don't know. I feel like
like
there's so
Jack
much
Human
more.
better?
I feel like there's so much more you could do. I'm leaning Hugh Jackman.
Okay. That's fair. I hope he comes back. I hope we see him at an event soon.
I do too. Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Vanessa Hudgens.
Vanessa.
I've got to move on and face Hugh Jackman. It's definitely Hugh Jackman. I wrote Hugh Jackson on the paper.
Hugh
I'm like, who the fuck is Hugh Jackson? Is he related to Michael?
Hugh Jackson.
Gronk versus Mr. T. Mr. T's main eventer. I feel like we can see Gronk again. I love Gronk, but will we see Gronk again?
Probably not.
Gronk's
Like,
got other
most
shit to
likely
do.
not. Yeah. He's
Shout out Mr. T.
roasts and shit.
Logan Paul versus George Kittle. We're gonna see George Kittle again. We're gonna see Logan Paul
We're gonna
again.
see Logan again against our will.
Unfortunately, George Kittle's moving on. Also, side note, I would much rather see like a George Kittle celebrity match than a Logan Paul. Like, I feel like George Kittle would be really good at
Yeah.
it and like be super like stoked about it. Also, just the infectious energy of watching someone who's like a lifelong fan do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can't be beat.
Macaulay Culkin versus Johnny Knoxville.
Macaulay. Sorry, Johnny.
Sorry. And then LT versus Mickey Rourke. I don't really feel like this matters. I'm going to go with Lawrence Taylor as the main eventer, but he's getting knocked out by Macaulay right here. And we got Mr. T versus George Kittle.
I think I'm going with George.
Another main eventer, another black legend knocked out by a charming, goofy white dude. We have a type, don't we? George Kittle versus Macaulay Culkin.
Oh man, Macaulay.
MC is the winner of this side of the bracket. And we have, Cyndi Lauper versus Mike Tyson.
That's tough. I'm kind of torn on
They're
that one.
they're two like real like when you think of WWE celebrity appearances, they're two of the names that immediately come to mind.
But
like,
I don't know.
they're
Mr.
like
T
the
was
faces
in.
of each era. Like you got
Yeah.
Cyndi Lauper's the Hogan era, Mr. T is like the celebrity of the Austin era, and then like the Cena era. I don't know, Snooki.
Yeah.
Literally, the celebrity of the Cena era is Dwayne, even though he's
Yeah.
a former like wrestler.
You're right.
And
You're right
I
about
think
that.
Travis is the celebrity of today, if you ask me. But
Yeah.
that's all. That's recency bias. I'm gonna go with Cyndi Lauper, just because without her, I don't think that we get to Mike Tyson. And then Hugh Jackman versus Vanessa. I'm going Vanessa for personal reasons.
Yeah.
And then Vanessa versus Cyndi Lauper. I'm going
Man.
Vanessa for
They're
personal reasons.
both like the two hot girls of their era, like hot girl celebrity.
Being hot in the 80s doesn't mean shit to me versus being hot today.
Yeah.
I watched High
We've
School
all seen
Musical
High
in
School
real
Musical.
time. I watched High School Musical to everybody all for
Gabriella.
one. Cyndi Lauper, your time is done.
Yeah,
Gabriella.
Vanessa, we love you.
All right, so Vanessa versus Macaulay.
I never wanted it to be like this. I don't know.
What about us? What about everything we've been
As
through?
much as I love the whole like hot girls love professional wrestling thing that has come of the Vanessa appearances, I feel like Macaulay, like seeing that picture of him as a little kid.
He's got skin in the game.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. During High School Musical, I was watching wrestling during then, too. Like, during the peak of High School Musical, if Gabriela Montez showed up to One Night Stand 2006, we'd be having a different fucking conversation.
Yeah.
Home Alone, he gave them the rub at the peak of his powers. Now that he's like an older,
of his
washed up
powers.
celebrities, like him being here, just like, nice nostalgia pop. But like, hey, he put in the work at the height of his fame,
Yeah.
and now he can just like chill. At the height of her fame, where the fuck was she? And now that she's a like celebrity, I'm not gonna call her old. She's still like young, and like
Yeah.
he's still young too. Like, but like they were child stars who
Right.
had like very like high peaks earlier in their career. At the peak of her power, she was nowhere to fucking be found. And now that High School Musical is a thing of the past, we got High School Musical, the show, the series, starring Olivia Rodrigo. Like, we don't see her here. If Olivia Rodrigo shows up to WrestleMania 65, I'm going to be like, kind of perpetrating a little bit. Vanessa, it's nice to be hot girls to be into pro wrestling now that we're in a boom. Like, where were you? Where were the hot girls that liked pro wrestling? When
During the
like
pandemic.
yeah, during the when we had Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt in that red cage, and everybody was like, "This is terrible. I'm never watching this shit again." Where were you then? I'm sorry, Macaulay. You win this side of the paper. Let's finish up this.
Hell
other
yeah,
side.
Macaulay. Yes.
MGK versus Speed.
Speed. He took that spear. Yeah.
You want to see?
I respect
real
him.
speed, bitch? Snoop versus Pat McAfee.
Snoop.
Snoop.
Sorry, Pat.
Snoop versus Speed.
Oh man. For the same reason I chose Macaulay, I think I'm gonna go with Snoop. Longevity.
Yeah, we've seen Snoop as a WWE Hall of Famer. Speed one day, I think deserves to be there, but
Yes.
he's got to take a couple more moves for.
Gotta take a couple more spears.
He's got to get a crossroads at some point.
Yeah.
We gotta see him take a. Super
He's gonna
kick.
take a tsunami from Bronson
Oh,
when he
God.
comes back.
Oh God, they're really gonna. Leave in the comments below the celebrity you most want to see get tsunamied by Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Why is it Elon Musk? All right. Bad Bunny versus West Side Gun. Ooh, that's tough.
I'm going Bad Bunny.
I am too, only because of like that entrance that he got in Puerto Rico. That shit was life changing. But I will argue that if WWE embraced West Side Gun and gave him the chance, like he could get that same kind of reaction. Maybe
Yeah.
not. He's not as big of a star as like Bad Bunny, but I'd argue he's a bigger wrestling fan, which is hard to do because Bad Bunny loves this shit.
Yeah.
And we got Maria versus Travis. Travis. I knew it was leading to this. Travis versus Bad Bunny.
No.
It had to happen eventually.
I know.
I thought it might be the final, but the way the bracket was set up, that's 100%.
Travis is like really having a moment right now. It can't be denied.
They're embracing him the way that they embraced Bad Bunny like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And Bad Bunny's busy right now, so he's not here to be like in the middle of this, but like
I'm kind of leaning towards Travis, and I didn't want to. I wanted it to be Bad Bunny, but I don't know.
let's say this. Bad Bunny's greatest moment in WWE was defeating Damian Priest in front of all of Puerto Rico. Travis Scott's greatest moment was being a member of the John Cena heel turn, smacking the active, living, reigning, defending WWE champion Cody Rhodes, the son of Dusty, by the way. That's Dusty's boy.
Yeah.
Smacking him so hard that his eardrum bursts into flames. He's got a scar in his eye looking like Prince Zuko.
Yeah.
I gotta go Trav.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, with that being said, Trav versus Snoop.
Trav versus Snoop. I might have to go with Trav again.
Snoop.
Sorry, Snoop. I love you,
Snoop
Snoop.
was gonna just be a guest host, and that impromptu match at WrestleMania 39 between Miz and Shane McMahon when Shane blew out his hamstring, Snoop had to have an impromptu match versus Miz on the fly, and he did it.
Yeah.
That takes professionalism. You can't like take one of these celebrities that just showed up like to
Pull 'em
Fluffy
out of the
Iglesias
crowd.
isn't going to have an impromptu match at WrestleMania
Yeah.
in front of all of SoFi Stadium.
Yeah.
But still, Trav slapped the shit out of Cody Rhodes. All right, so Travis Scott versus Macaulay Culkin. Who
That's
wins
crazy.
this bracket?
That's crazy. It's what it all boils down to.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for. This is how the cookie crumbles.
Travis Scott versus Macaulay Culkin. Oh, man.
This has like implications. Triple H, Nick
I
Khan,
know.
they're watching
You're
this.
gonna
Like
see this.
is who's gonna get pumped into like your feed.
I will say these are both like two celebrities who, when I see them appear on the screen, I'm like, yes, yeah. I'm like, this is awesome. I don't know. Okay, Macaulay shows up as a fan. We love to see it. We love that he's like a lifelong fan. It's awesome, heartwarming.
What do we want him to do? Get speared by Braun Breaker? Slap the shit out of Cody Rhodes?
Is no longer just appearing. He's in it. He might be a member of this like evil faction with John Cena and the like. He's in now.
Cody Rhodes, The Rock's associate, Travis Scott.
Yeah, his associate. So, man, I don't know. It makes me lean towards Travis, just that, like, he's really involved.
All I have to say is this. I like Home Alone as much as the next guy.
Yeah.
Does Macaulay Culkin perform the theme song for Raw?
That is true.
Travis Scott, you are the winner of our WWE Celebrity Appearances bracket. While we're doing WWE stuff this month during March Madness, we might have more brackets. So if you guys have ideas for other brackets you want to see, leave some in the comments below. As always, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Thanks for getting us to 500.
We got there, and here's what the challenge was gonna be. I was going to do 500 push-ups if we got to 500 subscribers. But I like a little bit of a challenge, and in the theme of wrestling, doesn't AEW have a pay-per-view called Double or Nothing? You get us to 1,000 subscribers, and I will do 1,000 push-ups, and I will post a video of it. It's gonna be one of those videos of, it's gonna be like the sped-up versions of me knocking them out in maybe groups of 10s throughout the day, and maybe when we film our next video after that, both of my arms will be bundled up in ace bandages. But I'm challenging you. I think you can do it. So prove me right. And as always, thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you again soon.
Bye, guys.